Welcome back to my channel. I'm JoyfulJaye. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, it sure is an encouragement. Today we're painting a palm tree. I'm getting ready for a class I'm going to teach. Never done that before. So I'm going step by step, laying down white on the canvas first. And I'm going to mix right on the board. Oh, I have a pesky new brush, a little cheap one where the hairs are falling out. So I'm just taking a tweezers, getting the hairs off. So I'm laying down a little yellow and a little brown, just blending that together on the canvas. If you can notice, I'm not quite cutting the canvas off in thirds. So the sand and the water will be about the same width, and then the sky is going to be a little bit bigger. The pesky little hairs, I'm just picking them off. So as I do this class, I bought some cheap brushes. I do like these brushes though. I've got one that's very seasoned and the hairs don't fall out. So now I'm just going to stipple. I'm just kind of poking around on that to make it look more like sand instead of just lines on a canvas. And I'm not worrying about where the water is going to meet the sand because it will not have an even line. If you've ever stood at the seashore, you know that it is never an even line when those waves come up. I'm going to lay down a little more white, and again, I'm going to blend right on the canvas, not worrying with those lines where the water meets the sand. Now, in this part of the picture, I like the lines, so I'm going to leave those lines there. If you've ever stood by the shore and you watched water, a lot of times things flow in lines. The horizon line where the sky meets the water needs to be straight because that line is typically very, very straight. And you're going to pull down a little of the water into the sand. And then I'm adding some waves. And this is a very, very light touch of the brush, just randomly placing some white water waves in the water. There's no rhyme or reason. If you're following along, your water will not look like my water, and I will never be able to paint this set of waves ever again. It's just how waves are. They're all unique and they come and go in their own time. So I'm putting a little more water on the sky part of the canvas just so that the paint will move a little easier. Paying special attention to not mess up that horizon line. And I decided it's going to be a little easier to do this upside down for me. And the color that I'm choosing right now, I end up really not liking this. It's just too dark of a blue. And I try a different brush and it's not making it any better. It's not making my sky any better. So my solution is I'm going to take a paper towel and lay it on the canvas and press down and hopefully remove most of the water and the paint. And I'm going to dab a little of it off. Oh, I like this color much better for the sky. It's not as dark as the other color. Now towards the horizon where the water meets the sky, I want it to be the lightest of the blues. So the darker is going to be at the top of the canvas, which is at the bottom of the canvas right now. But you have to see it upside down. And then I'm going to lay in some clouds. And clouds aren't perfect, so I'm just going to dab, twisting my brush, dab some cloud color here and there. Nothing perfect. My palm tree is going to cover a lot of this off. Oh, when I took the tape off, it bled, but I'm not going to worry about the bleeding. We're going to add the palm tree. So I'm going right about the middle of the sand with a flat brush, and I'm just dabbing, 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 dabbing. As my palm tree grows above the horizon line, I'm turning that brush to make the tallest part, or the top of the tree, thinner than the base of the tree. I'm not worried about any of the imperfections on the tree trunk. Palm trees aren't perfect. I am, however, going to add a little bit of definition using, and you can't tell in the video, but it's a blue, a real dark blue. I mixed some blue and some brown together just to add some of the little lines. So when you see palm trees in real life, they're actually lighter than this, but you're going to find out that this is the shady side of the tree. So then I'm going to add the shadowing, and you can see my hand. I'm like, which side is the shade coming from? I'm testing, mixing up what color do I want that shade, using a little test strip. And I'm just very lightly, very, very lightly adding some shadows of that palm tree. As I add the palm fronds, I first lay down the main branch of those palm fronds, and I am intentionally taking them outside the boundaries of the painted sky. For the palm fronds themselves, I'm using a fan brush with a very, very, very light touch. And I can add some details later with a more of a small round brush. But I just am feeling it. You just add it where it'll go. It never works the same. I can pick up a fan brush every time and it will never do the same brush for me. But that's okay. We just work with the paint, work with the canvas, and make little changes as we need to make those little changes. Just like life, painting, there's some nuances, and you learn over time those areas that we need to add a little more color to make the piece or your life just a little more interesting. If you are still with me, thank you so very much. I am JoyfulJaye. I am just learning how to paint. I've had a passion for it for a long time, but I'm more consistent since I've started YouTube than I ever have before. And I just want to encourage you, if you have a desire to pick up a paintbrush, paint, pick it up. Paint on canvas, paint on water bottles, paint on paper, whatever you have available, whether it's pencils or pens or paints and paintbrushes. Let the creative you come out. It is very helpful if you thumbs up. It will just give me a spark of joy if you leave me a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Thank you. for stopping by and saying hi.